An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. The foundation of every state is the education of its youth. Education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an open one. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. Education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. The whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows. In the first place, God made idiots. That was for practice. Then he made school boards. To educate a man in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society. Education is the movement from darkness to light. Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. Poor is the pupil who does not surpass his master. Learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought for with ardor and diligence. You are always a student, never a master. You have to keep moving forward. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. The goal of education is the advancement of knowledge and the dissemination of truth. Education is the best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. Education beats the beauty and the youth. What sculpture is to a block of marble, education is to the soul. He who opens a school door closes a prison. My mother said I must always be intolerant of ignorance, but understanding of illiteracy. That some people, unable to go to school, were more educated and more intelligent than college professors. The only person who is educated is the one who has learned how to learn and change. The great aim of education is not knowledge, but action. Change is the end result of all true learning. Everybody is ignorant, only on different subjects. I would rather entertain and hope that people learn something than educate people and hope they were entertained. The paradox of education is precisely this, that as one begins to become conscious, one begins to examine the society in which he is being educated. The object of education is to prepare the young to educate themselves throughout their lives. Men and women must be educated, in a great degree, by the opinions and manners of the society they live in. Data is not information. Information is not knowledge. Knowledge is not understanding. Understanding is not wisdom. Education is all a matter of building bridges. Whenever the people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government. The illiterate of the future will not be the person who cannot read. It will be the person who does not know how to learn. Don't limit a child to your own learning, for he was born in another time. When I get a little money, I buy books, and if any is left, I buy food and clothes. If I were again beginning my studies, I would follow the advice of Plato and start with mathematics. The mere imparting of information is not education. Education is simply the soul of a society as it passes from one generation to another. To the uneducated, an A is just 3 sticks. An education isn't how much you have committed to memory, or even how much you know. It's being able to differentiate between what you know and what you don't. Education is what survives when what has been learned has been forgotten. Education is learning what you didn't even know you didn't know. Education is a progressive discovery of our own ignorance. A library is the delivery room for the birth of ideas, a place where history comes to life. Poor people cannot rely on the government to come to help you in times of need. You have to get your education. Then nobody can control your destiny. It is better to know some of the questions than all of the answers. It is better to know some of the questions than all of the answers. Education is the cheap defense of nations. Man is what he reads. If you become a teacher, by your pupils you'll be taught. Cultivation to the mind is as necessary as food to the body. Learning is a result of listening, which in turn leads to even better listening and attentiveness to the other person. In other words, to learn from the child, we must have empathy, and empathy grows as we learn. Education is a better safeguard of liberty than a standing army. It is 1,000 times better to have common sense without education than to have education without common sense. I need to complete my homework on time.